Rabbil Alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil mursalin Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ahli wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma yassir wa la tu'assir, Allahumma yassir wa la tu'assir, Allahumma yassir wa la tu'assir, Allahumma ftah 'alaina himmataka wa sha'alana min ghazalin bi rahmatika wa rahmir rahimin. First of all, thank you very much Uni Shams because accepting our paper for this conference, and inshallah I would like to present for the topic regarding about gold reselling, the cost from the legal consequences from the Muhammad perspective, as presented by myself, Dr. Muhammad Saiful Ismail from UiTM Kedah, and also my fellow friend from Amy Aziz from UiTM Samarahan Sarawak, and Dr. Muhammad Anas Ibrahim, UiTM Dungun Terengganu, Dr. Syaimah Ismail from UiTM Segamat, and last but not least Tengku Wasimah Raja Harun from UUM under Islamic Business School COB. So as information, this paper has been contributed by two institutions from UiTM and also UUM. So I will proceed for the next slide. So here's the content for this presentation today. Is regarding about first follow-up from the introduction and the research methodology, and gold transaction in Islamic point of view, and gold reselling in condition of tamathul, and last but not least is a conclusion. So as we acknowledge, gold has become one of the very longest history investment activities since 500 before centuries. So the aim of gold actually is to keep the people grow their wealth, sustain social status by acquired by saving or investment purpose. So previously, in before transaction, gold is more on the exchange item and also for the buying or selling purpose. But nowadays, it become more on for the physical collection item. So in Malaysia, they have several gold companies that introduce gold bar product. For example, like a special edition public gold Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and COVID-19 special edition gold card, and Dina Amas legacy Tuan Guru Ni Aziz, and appreciation to Malaysian Prime Minister, and many more. They produce based on the trend and event that happened at this moment. For example, I will show you how this card has been produced. They have a beautiful card, as you can see. They make a very good, beautiful card, and also the gold bar plate for 1 gram only. So, and then as you can see also from here on Wakanda Forever, they also have a very beautiful card. At the same time, they have a serial number they own and give it for the certificates. For example, certificate as you can see from here on the coronavirus COVID-19 gold plated bar for 1 gram. So from here, it shows that how they make a gold bar as a collection item, because the gold collector, they look at this opportunity to make their own collection and make it as a special edition, like a rare product. So that's why they will find the buyer who are very interested, and they try to raise a markup from that part. So the question here, is it permissible to mark up a gold bar that are not under higher cost basis, that will be explained on the next slide. Okay, so on the research methodology, these studies employ a qualitative method in order to understand the nature of the study, whether in the inductively or deductively. So the sources, as I mentioned before, the reference based on from the Islamic perspective. So therefore, the outline that we carry out for the study is based on the Quran, that refer from the Holy Quran, King Salman University that make software for the Sahih International. So they have an English translation as well. And the second one is the hadith sources such as Syarah Sahih Muslim, Imam An-Nawawi, Sunan Abu Dawud, Nasai, Ibn Majah, and also book of fiqh resources, for example Ibn Rushd, Kitab Bidayatul Mujtahid, Imam Al-Ba'ali, Istihmar wal Raqabah Asy'ariyah, and also for Wahbah Zuhaili books also being referred, which is called as the fiqh Islami wa adilatuh. Meanwhile, this article also refer for the additional sources such as the article online journals in order to understand the gold concept from muamalat perspective initially. So for the next part is for the gold transaction in Islamic point of view. As we acknowledge, in muamalat law, gold transaction is considered as a buy on soft. Buy on soft is a sale purchase of money for money that including gold and silver, also the sale of gold for silver for silver. So for Islamic scholars unanimously agree on the permissibility of the buy on soft as it has been practiced by people since the Prophet time until today. So the transaction goal, that's why we trying to concern, because the practice transaction of gold is falls under riba al-buyun. Why? Because the riba al-buyu' mean riba in sales that involve with a ribawi item. So this kind of the ribawi item, a gold, has been concerned because of the currency fluctuates and the condition of trading is exchange is more similar to exchange a ribawi item. So this is a prophet has been said about the transaction goals that considered as a ribawi item because it must be on equal for equal and hand to hand, which means they must be on the spot. That explained on the next part that regarding about the condition has been issued by Imam Shafi'i. They say the condition of a goal must be on the tamathul, hulul and taqabut. So tamasul is a must be on the same weight or value. Hulul is the exchange must be immediately in cash. And the last one, taqabut, or we say in qabat, the exchange and delivery of good must be on the spot, or we call it lani transaction. Okay, so in order to understand the nature about the gold reselling, the discussion is focusing on tamasul only, because the issue on the markup that has been gathered by the gold reseller, so whether it must be on higher cost or on murabahah transaction cost. Okay, so for the gold reselling conditions, as we can see, this must be actually is originally referred to the current world gold market. Yes, because as I mentioned on the previous slide, the gold's value is a fluctuate. Based on the public gold mutual, the value of the gold bar will be exchanged from time to time in every 20 minutes. So, it might be a concern because they always have a lock price actually, but the problem is we're focusing on permissible to sell gold with the markup on the price. Okay, so initially, we know for the higher cost base. For example, like if you want to sell the gold and then you want to market the price based on the higher cost. For example, you have design fees or maintenance fees or something like that. So it's still a permissible. But the question is, can we mark up according to murabahah basis, which means profit without effort. Yeah, that's the questions. So from this part, we identified the divergence among Islamic scholars' views on markup profit in gold transaction is consists of 2 points of view. So the first group claim that is a prohibition to markup sales in gold edition transaction, and the second one is a permissible to raise a profit for the gold transaction. So for the first uh, opinion, they claim why? Because it is not halal to combine debt and sale, no two condition in trading, no profit without risk. Yes. So it's here they claim as a profit without risk, which means you cannot mark up the commodity when you're not trying to attempt for a risk you've been taken. So And also from the An-Nasai also explained about the profit return in exchange for the risk that he bears. So from here, Al-Khattab 2008 and 2007, they explicit about the profit without risk means the profit acquired without any effort to the acquiring the product. Okay, so the second one, the based on the risk the seller that has bears. Okay, the question is why this is happen? Because the reason, based on my observations, they selling a gold bar, they resell the gold bar item to the other buyer, and they give a reason. They said because this is a special edition gold bar, the first one, because they have a beautiful design. There is an authentic design. And then they say, because we done for the pre-order, so if we got a beautiful serial number, so the product we will get for more higher rate markup. So that's a question, whether is it permissible or not. So according to the Ibn Rushd and Imam al-Ba'li, describe one of the condition for murabahah sale purchase must not include ribawi item. So that's the point, because he said for markup price for ribawi item is not permissible, is not included. Okay. So now we're going for the second point of view, that permissibility to markup sales in contract section. According to Imam Malik and Imam Shafi'i, they say gold is no longer functional as a medium of exchange, but it is considered as a commodity nowadays. Yes, it is admitted, because now the medium of exchange is a money. Money is a medium of exchange now, no longer for the gold bar or for the gold, any kind of gold, because they are considered as a commodity or the item like a jewelry and etc. The second point is the hukum or sale and exchange or ribawi item, like the hadith I mentioned before. Abu Ubaidah said about the gold for gold, silver for silver, actually is more on barter exchange, not for a sale purchase. So that's why for a selling a product, for example, money to money with golds, or money with a wheat or rice is a permissible, because they based on the same value. This is their justification. And it does not put the condition of riba al-buyu' for a normal sale contract, such as buying rice, as I mentioned before, and the permissibility to resell gold bar special edition, for me, should fulfill this criteria by transferring the intention of gold reseller with information has given to the buyer, in order to avoid the misrepresentation and uncertainty. Because one another justification from this permissibility, it must be on the mutual consent between a seller and the buyer. But the point is, the ulama has been discussed about the concept of mutual consent. It must be on the intangible value and mentally, and it depends on their true intentions. So back to the principles al-umur bimaqasidiha, any intentions that bring towards on his action, which means if we can see his true intention want to sell a product for a fraud things or something like that, we can be observed on that part actually. Okay, so conclusion here, the gold reseller must be alert when the transaction has been made, by first exposing the true intention, which means the base true intention, the transparent with the information had given to the customer. And the second one, the closing, the markup must be is according to higher cost, which means they are based on the maintenance fees. For example, like the maintenance fees, maybe before he resell the product, he take he hires someone to maintain the gold bar, and then they make like a cost upah cuci and something like that. So in order to make a product be maintained as well, and also might be about the transportation advertisement fee to the buyer, because if they do not physically disclose this kind of a markup, so it might be lead for the riba, or also horror the uncertainty situation, and also misrepresentation of price, or we call it in Arabic term is a ghaban. That's why it's not easy if you want to take a profit without risk. For example, in Malay term we call it as a untung atas angin. So for me, untung atas angin is not, is a against from the muamalat perspective. So from this kind of view is important. Why? Because this element should be embedded in order to comply with the Sharia principles and achieve his maqdatillah in the world and hereafter. So that's all for presentation. So thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.